My channel will be a case study in colleges, if not already, on how to not run a YouTube channel. So you don't want to switch up your genre like 5 times a year.
Got a lot of questions for him. I think it'll be a more, I don't know, try to make it more fun than just like a documentary on his story. I mean, his story is really interesting too, so maybe a little bit of both.
Yeah, wait, what did you want to ask?
That's perfect. Andrew Hales is blank.
YouTuber, content creator. People get butthurt if you say anything else, like filmmaker or whatever, but yeah. Just started posting every day, once a week. Pranks, simple pranks. Around the 10th week, we came out with like holding people's hand, and that blew up. And so that was like my debut onto the scene pretty much. First few years were pranks, hidden camera stuff, funny stuff.
Move! I gotta get to class, man.
Sidewalk. Don't tell me to move.
Hey. Mr. Hales 109.
Who? What?
I follow you on Instagram. What's your name?
Marina.
Where are you going, Marina?
Gordon.
This might sound crazy, but do you want to come back to my place and pop in a Blu-ray?
No.
Those were my early 20s, and then I kind of transitioned into the Chatting Withs, my little podcast series, just interviewing people from all walks of life. Then the last few years I've been doing street interviews and vlogs, but you dabble with a lot of different things as a content creator.
Prank stuff, kind of understated. That was huge. I mean, you were one of the biggest initial guys, right?
Yeah, I mean, not to brag, but if there was a Hall of Fame for pranksters on YouTube, I would definitely be in it, I think.
What do you think the shift was? That just oversaturated now?
Yeah, it was a bunch of different things. More and more people were doing it. It was less of a surprise element when you're out in college, like around 2014-15, like 3 years into it. More and more people would recognize me, and that sounds dumb. More people would be like, "Oh, is this a video?" And so it wasn't as like authentic, but it was also me just growing up and getting sick of them. I did like 100, 150 of them, and just wanted to explore different ventures. Yeah. Emily.Rivers asks, do you ever feel like the online content game is an unremitting black hole that slowly rapes the divine originality of its participants until they inevitably give in and start consistently churning out topical mediocrity? Absolutely, Emily. What a beautiful piece of prose. And the algorithm has changed so much too. It's not about subscribers much anymore. It kind of each video is on its own versus the algorithm. Like in the old days, I feel like when people subscribe, then when you post a video, it sends to your subscribers, but it's not so much that anymore. I got away with uploading like, at least 50% of my content is mid, Yeah.
Well, yeah.
But I think that's a given, like with any content creator. Like you just have to put out a lot to hopefully find some gems. Noah L asks, who would you call if you woke up with a tail? I guess I would go to Carly first and show her. And then we'd go to the doctor.
ER, maybe.
Or the ER. Yeah, the ER. We'd go to the ER. That would be scary. I think I fell off. I think my main 2020 was, I think, the main year I fell off, where I started to go into weird territory and drinking a lot, just uploading random stuff, and I was like 30, 40 pounds overweight. But I was still pretty happy because I was dating this girl I'd met, and I don't know, I didn't have a care in the world really. But yeah, seeing comments that are like, "Oh, you used to be so big, whatever. Oh, you fell off." It was really hard at first, but then now I feel like I'm over it. Like, no one cares. Still got my friends and family, and like my dad said, I'd rather be the boat that left the harbor than stay put, you know? This is the universe. It always tries to make content creation look easy, or it looks easy, but it's not. Jonathan Wells asks, have you ever considered selling an online course that reveals the secrets of building a social prank channel? People have like told me I should do something like that or sell some kind of course, but I think I was about to maybe in 2019 for like interviewing people. I wouldn't want to sell a course. It'd be more just like a book. Maybe like a book on how to talk, like how for introverts, how to talk to people, like maybe 10 years from now. But because I feel like I've come a long way in that regard. Yeah, the chatting's when I first started transitioning, I was doing like other popular YouTubers that I was friends with, and those were doing okay, but the chattings didn't really start to pick up until I started interviewing random people and hearing their random stories about their specific thing. And so yeah, that was a turning point.
Yeah, kind of surprising.
Yes and no. I mean, I think the functional meth users are way more interesting. So yeah, I mean, it goes to show, like, for the most part, if you kind of just try to listen to your gut and upload what you think, what you would watch yourself, then that's kind of a golden rule to stick to. Yeah. I keep looking directly into this camera. Okay, I gotta stop.
2 angles.
Is that zoomed all the way up on me?
It's a little tighter. So.
Cool.
What are you up to now? What you said.
So now, I did a street interview like last week, but it's been all over the place the last year or so. I got this gig co-hosting a neuroscience podcast for this neuroscience company that has this app and a wellness app, and I've been doing that the last few months, and that's been great financially, paying most of my bills. But I'll also live stream here and there on YouTube, TikTok. I've been doing ASMR on TikTok a little bit. I have a little community there. But I know I need to like kind of just focus on one thing. It's probably going to be the street interviews. The thing that was holding me back for a little bit was like having to hire a filmer, and it would always be at least $100, $200. And so I'd always keep putting it off because I was like paycheck to paycheck. But now I've kind of, for the first time, I like took my phone, just went all by myself, and I did it. And I was so scared. But so that was a breakthrough, and I'm gonna try to keep doing more of those.
So you still get that, like approach thousands of people in your videos, but still tough.
Yeah, it never goes away. I don't know. It's always a little scary at first, but you do get better at it naturally as you get older. But it gets scary. A lot of it's you have to start with taking care of yourself so that you can properly interact with people, be present, and yeah, a lot of it's just trying to keep my brain tip top. That's the starting point. So I value exercise and eating, and staying healthy, especially at 35. I gave up drinking like almost 3 years ago now. That was a whole another life ago. It's crazy. And it's definitely very slowly healed my brain. Well, yeah, I gotta find a rhythm again with the street interviews and just roll those out. Find an editor.
Pay $100 B, $1,000, C, $10,000, or D, $100,000 or more, or E, it depends on how soft the surface is.
How much money are you willing to, or what amount of money is worth receiving in exchange for sleeping sleeping on a rock for 30 days? I don't know, that's all.
That's a good,
yeah,
that definitely could have been it.
that works.
The actual question was, how much would someone have to pay you for you to jump off a 15-foot roof?
15 feet? That's like nothing, like $100.
Do that?
Yeah,
Really?
I think so.
You break an ankle.
15 feet? That's like this roof?
That's like 12.
I guess in an alternate universe, I would have kept doing the pranks, kept growing, whatever. Theoretically.
Sure.
And I'm rich and what. But I don't know. I'd rather just explore different. Yeah, there's more to life than views and money. You know, there's self-discovery. I wish more people thought that way. But yeah, everyone's obsessed with views and money. Naturally.
Yeah. It's hard to escape, obviously.
Yeah, I guess
It's such
human nature.
monetization of attention by any means necessary. I mean, it's,
For now, just for the sake of simplicity, I'm gonna try to just stick to street interviews, though, just to get some traction going again.
is that the most fulfilling? I mean, is that the right mix of what works and what you're kind of interested in for the
Yeah,
time being?
I mean, they're challenging and they get enough views where it's worth it. And yeah, there's something about street interviews that I keep coming back to that I like. I like the rawness of it, and just there's something exciting about instant interactions with strangers, you know.
You usually try to find an interesting or clickable topic, right?
Yes.
What do you think would be the least clickable? Like the most boring, but it's kind of different because it's like
People in books.
books. What's
People on books. People on gardening probably.
museums?
Yeah. Asking people their favorite museum. No. There was one that on paper sounds really boring, but I made it work just because I brought the energy. People on McDonald's. It's like just talking to people about their eating, how often they eat McDonald's, whatever. We were in a rhythm then. But yeah, I gotta get back there.
You ever afraid of like getting boxed into one type of content again, or is kind of your plan? I mean, is this open-ended enough where?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it doesn't feel like anyone cares really. No one's like, oh, can't wait for this kind of upload. You know, where I think it's kind of, in a way, it feels like a new beginning where I can kind of upload whatever, but I don't know. I go back and forth with it every day. Zach with 3 Z's asks, you famously read Crime and Punishment cover to cover on camera. Have you ever taken another human life? If not, under what circumstance do you think you'd be capable of taking another human life? I've never taken another human life, but I'd probably be capable of taking another human life if I had to go to war. Or if I was like protecting my family or something. Which reminds me, I still gotta buy a gun.
What about like the trolley prop?
Is there 5 people on the train?
It's headed towards 5.
Oh,
So if you do nothing, it hits 5.
okay.
And if you
But if you do the switch, it kills one person? Then we just kill the one person, probably. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. Yeah. There is a channel called Fern I've been getting into. Have you heard of them?
yeah, I've seen a couple.
Yeah, like cool video essay documentaries type things, and they, you can tell it's funded. Like they have whole credits before, and they hired a 3D team. It'd be cool to get to that place someday where I'm just shoving $500 here for the editor. That'd be really cool to just be a producer. There's a bunch of different channels like that. Just kind of make videos that just stand by themselves and are just really good. It's just good content, and that's something to aspire to.
Is that kind of in roadmap, or what we have
Yeah, I mean,
happening?
eventually, just making more money to invest it,
Mhm.
and I'm almost there. I'm gaining traction.
How many years do you think something like you or something called YouTube will exist? You had to put it over under. If it's,
Forever, right?
well, like not 1,000, right? Because who knows what's going to be around then? But like more than 10, I would say.
You mean, are you talking about the end of the world? I have a theory that AI is gonna replace everything except for live streaming, because that's a real human, So that's also like a thing to think about. It's like 2-3 years when AI's replaced everything except for human live streams.
So how would you tell? Could an AI just live stream?
Well, if you're interacting with them and there's probably gonna be some proof where you can show you're not AI.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's gonna get crazy. Sarah K17 asks, if your channel LAHWF had to stand for something other than losing all of his freedom, which of the following would you want the acronym to stand for? Looking at humans with fascination, looking around, harassing grilling folks, lanky, awkward, honky wanders freely, lizard people are hellish, wicked freaks, life's a hallucination, we're fine. Looking at humans with fascination, I like that one. And 5 is kind of cool. Yeah, that's everything.
Cool.
Did you print these out at home? You just had random green paper this size in your house?
Half sheets.
Huh. Oh, right. Half sheets, yeah.
Probably should get cardstock. There you go. Real viewer questions.
That's awesome. When I would do it, I would just pull up my phone and read the Twitter feed. But that's
Yeah.
way more...
Well, if you couldn't tell,
Analog.
those weren't real.
They weren't?
They weren't?
Wow.
We'll cut that.
Sneaky.
All right, got the interview done. A little unsure how the audio quality will be. I think Andrew had a backup mic going, so we might have to use that. Yeah, I got on the road early. We're over an hour from Nashville. Got my hotel breakfast to go. Fruit Loops. 2 quite disgusting looking cheese egg omelets. We'll see if it comes down to needing these or not. Good to have.